Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an Unexplained Phenomena video on the night vision demons. This event happened, this incident, this stuff happened during the Vietnam War, and I thought it was very interesting considering some new information that's come to light, so I figured I'd do this one. But first, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you could hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content on all of your social media platforms, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Check me out over on Rumble for my political commentary and weekly current events. If you enjoy a good book, check out my author page on Amazon.com. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. You can find all of my books there, including the political fantasy, The Righteous President. What happens if you elect somebody who actually tries to fix things? Yeah. I wrote that story, The Righteous President. I was writing a different book of by and for. It was pro-Republican, anti-Democrat. But in my research, I started finding stuff out about the Republican Party I did not like. So I'm a constitutionalist now. I'm a registered Republican in New Mexico because I like voting in the primaries. But I am a constitutionalist. And I wrote that book. It's not pro-Democrat, pro-Republican. It's anti, I guess, establishment. I don't know. But anyway, the last chapter is a postscript as to why I wrote the book, and it's everything in that last chapter is genuinely real fact. Okay, so anyway, I hope you get it. I hope you like it. All right, night vision demons. Here we go. During the Vietnam War, American soldiers were issued new night vision goggles intended to give them every advantage while engaging the enemy at night. Amen. That's what you're supposed to do. If you're not trying to get every advantage in a war, you ain't trying to win. That's just the way that is. These night vision goggles were not the modern green goggles that you see on TV and if you've ever used them. Instead, they were the original red lens versions. They had dicenium lenses designed to filter out much of the white light and other normal wavelengths of light, while emphasizing the other spectrum of light associated with light enhancing in the darkness. So it was supposed to filter out normal light and enhance other light so that you could see in the dark. That's essentially what they do. Generally, they worked well for picking out VC and NVA soldiers in the darkness. In that respect, they were awesome. The problem was, enemy soldiers weren't the only things they let our soldiers see. Evidently, they allowed our soldiers to peer beyond the veil into worlds normally hidden from your usual normal vision. More than one helicopter door gunner opened up on what he described as flying demons coming at the helicopter. They're flying at night. He's wearing these goggles. He's looking around to see if there's any enemy movement. And he sees a demon flying after the helicopter, so he opens up with a machine gun. This happened more than once. Recon units on long-range patrols who had these goggles reported that these demonic entities were watching them from the trees and flying around overhead. Guards on duty at night at fire bases who were using these goggles reported shadowy figures with glowing eyes keep leaping through the trees and watching them. Yeah. How'd you like to see that on a dark night with the enemy out there trying to kill you? That's crazy. Soldiers on night operations, search and destroy operations, night ambushes, that kind of thing. They were using these goggles and they reported demonic entities perched in trees watching them through the night. They seemed to get excited when the VC would show up and the ambush would be sprung. Other soldiers wearing these goggles reported seeing shadowy figures which looked like goblins and leaped around like human toads, skirting the perimeter of their tripwires like they knew exactly where the wires were before vanishing into thin air. And what's worse, even after taking off the goggles, many soldiers reported still seeing the demons and other beings following them and watching them. This persisted long after the war into civilian life. Some veterans still report seeing the entities, even today. A lot of it's attributed to PTSD and like that, but that's crazy. I'm sorry, that's crazy. In 1971, the U.S. Army switched to the green lenses to alleviate the situation, and the red lenses were discontinued. It did not seem to help those who still saw the beings. Many researchers believe that the sightings were hallucinations caused by the EM properties of the goggles or by the dicenium chemicals contacting the soldier's skin. Maybe the goggles were leaking this dicenium. And I guess that could be true, but the effects would have to be either extremely long-lasting or even permanent, even beyond the red lenses being discontinued. The dicenium lenses are known to have properties which allow the user to see beyond the normal wavelengths of light common to normal human vision. That's why they were used. In the 1920s, a scientist named Walter Kilner used dicenium dye to create what came to be known as Kilner. His name is Kilner, Kilner. He created what would be known as Kilner screens. He claimed they could be used to see the auras of living beings and other invisible fields of light. Kilner was not religious, nor was he into the supernatural or spiritual arts. He genuinely believed he could use his screens to detect information of an emotional or medical nature with the intent to help people. He was a good guy. He was trying to help people. He was trying to create something that would scan people for medical purposes to help them in specific situations. He was trying to do good. Kilner was not a kook. He wanted to alleviate suffering and believed he was on that path. Perhaps the U.S. Army, DARPA, or the military researchers inadvertently stumbled on a variation of Kilner's work which allowed the soldiers to see the demons infesting that war-torn land. Honestly, who knows? One interesting rumor I heard about was that this story about the night vision goggles, which allowed soldiers to see demons, was the inspiration for the Predator movie franchise. I do not know if that is true or not, but it sounds reasonable. I mean, it's a very similar situation. One thing I do know, if there was any place on Earth where demons would manifest and thrive, it would be on a battlefield. The landscape of the Vietnam War was hell on Earth and would have been the perfect area to lure demons into. Then, of course, some ignorant scientists give our guys the means to see them. Talk about the stuff of nightmares, right? PTSD gone wild. That'd be freaking crazy. If anybody else has any more information or if I got something wrong, please put it in the comments. If I left something out, stick that in there too. I thought this was a fascinating story, and I wasn't going to report on it, but then I read an article somewhere about Vietnam veterans still seeing the demons, and that's what triggered it for me. I needed, because our veterans have gone through enough. They could use some peace. So this story needs to get out there. I hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all.